sitting in the Winnipeg airport waiting for my flight to Phoenix, Arizona. Bourgault is holding a new product launch there tomorrow, and they say it's the biggest product launch that they've ever held. It's also the first one since the company was taken over by the Linamar Corporation. So I'll take you along with me, and we'll have a look at just what they have on offer. Sunny Phoenix, I'm with Curtis, product specialist, with this new drill, and this is a 100-foot drill, Curtis. Bourgault has had a 100-foot drill before, but this is nothing like that other drill. Tell me about this one.
Yeah, so like all companies, you evolve over time, and our first 100-foot 3420 drill was a fantastic product. But as time evolved and farming has changed, we've seen the need for some improvements. And that's what we think we've done with this new model 3545.
Tell me about the improvements.
So we've got a lot of them, so I hope you got a lot of time today.
Fire away.
Several things were identified, and first off, what we wanted to make note of is that the demand for the 100-foot drill has never gone away. It's only going to climb, and I think everybody realizes that in farming. All this equipment is getting bigger. But our theme for our event here at Phoenix has been capacity without complexity. So that's one of the main drivers of this product evolution, has been keeping it simple but still offering these farmers the capacity they need. So we made this drill very simple to fold and unfold and use, and it's basically, if not easier than all of our past drills, to put into use in the field, and that means taking it from the transport position to the field position. So we're really excited about that. We'll talk about that a little later. Another point that we needed to improve upon is flotation. The last drill was quite good, but this one, as you can see behind, is next level. It uses the same high float kit that we've had since 2014 on all of our conventional fold drills, but we beefed it up. It's on steroids. Massive 965 R32 tires on the mainframe actually gives it more flotation on the mainframe than our previous 3335 drills, 86, 76 and down. The wings are basically the same. So that's one nice thing that customers are going to see. And one thing that we always talk about is you're going to get stuck with any kind of drill, no matter how much flotation you have. But what happens with a high float kit is you don't go down and sink down out of sight and need an excavator to dig this thing out.
So here on the side of the drill, Curtis, tell me what's different than there. There's some design differences here, right?
Yeah, there sure is. So from the side, I wanted to point out that we actually stretched the running gear out a little bit on this drill, Scott, and the reason we did that, it gives it a little bit more room for trash flow through the frame. So we actually allowed another 5 inches between the rows, and so for those producers that want to leave their stubble cut a little taller, and when you're running one of our Trimax drills as an example, it's nice to have a little bit more room through there for the residue to flow through, and yet not too much of a compromise for contourability. For sure a little bit, but remember it is a 7-plex drill, so there's lots of contourability because it's a 7-plex. But I think the customers, that's one of the nicest changes, have that frame stretched out a little bit more.
And this also allows you to run the double shank opener, right, with that extra space?
Correct. And I mean, I think it's safe to say everybody that's running a dual shank opener on the market, it's a bit more challenging for residue flow. So I think that little bit of stretch frame is really going to make our customers excited. While we're at this swing section, another really, really exciting thing, and one of our most exciting features of this 3545 is the fact that we can take this drill from a 100-foot size. So a dealer and a customer want to make a new deal and buy another 100-foot. One of the challenges in the past with a 100-foot drill is it's not as marketable. The market segment that buys a 100-foot drill is small, right? But if we can convert this drill to an 80-foot, it just makes that market much more large for it to be resold in, and it's very easy to do that on this drill. So we have really had a game-changing idea here, dropping this drill from 100 to 80, or with the 84-foot 7-plex, you can take that drill size, so it's that base 80 extendable to 84, you can drop that one down to 66 feet. And if we want to take a minute here, we'll show you kind of the steps that need to be done to do that. So really, Scott, you and I could do this ourselves. So to convert this drill down to 80 to make it more resaleable on a dealer's lot, one would be the pin on that cylinder right there, removing it, capping the hydraulics there. At the same time, we'd have to cap off those hydraulics in that point. These 3 hinge points on this outer wing need to be removed, and this whole wing supported by a forklift loader, something like that, or a stand if you didn't have access to that, but most of these farms have that for sure. This opener right here, you can see it's attached to that outer wing. It comes off. We put on a stub kit on this middle wing, and so now this opener stays part of the middle wing. And then finally, just a stand right here that gets put on, because we no longer have that outer wing sandwiching over top of this middle, so that supports it in transport when it folds. And one thing I'll talk about is the air kit. So first off, we didn't limit your spacing that you can buy on your openers. If you want to buy this on 10-inch spacing, no problem. If you want to buy it on a Trimax configuration, really we feel the best agronomic seeding tool there is, you can buy this 100-foot drill that way. So you're not compromising yield when you buy this kind of capacity, and the guys did a beautiful job of that. So if you want to put on 350 pounds of fertilizer through the mid-row banners, you want to add 140 of wheat and 120 of phosphorus, all at 5 miles an hour, you can do that with this 100-foot drill. So the guys did a great job with this air kit. As you can see, the towers, the secondary towers across the drill are placed in a spot where they're evenly distributed. So we didn't compromise there. You can see the hoses going to the openers are routed in there very well. And that does 2 things. Less hose wear and capacity isn't compromised. Even you could see there's a lot more steel lines on this carrying that product throughout the drill. And one nice feature with some new hose technology, you could see this hose between the wing hinge points is straight through, which eliminates that wear point and gives us that maximum capacity that we can achieve with this. So no compromises with this drill. Exactly.
And I noticed the towers very tight into the frame.
Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head there. We had to keep those towers low, because when we show you how this drill folds up in such a nice tight package for transport down the road, we had to have them towers a little lower. So glad you noticed that. Actually, our 2.5-inch hoses uniquely come in under the frame to keep that tower low.
Yeah, and actually we talked about as well, if you go under the frame to change tips or something, you're not going to be cramped down there. There's lots of space down there for a guy to get some access.
For sure, yeah, because we stretch that frame out.
Right.
It does 2 things. It gives us better residue flow through the drill, but also when you do have to get under there for your maintenance, you got room to move around.
Okay, so we've got it folded up. Looks pretty compact.
It is just unbelievable. Warren and his team just did such a fantastic job of, number 1, getting such a massive drill in such a tight package, and number 2, keeping it simple to fold and unfold. Any operator that's run one of our drills in the past can fold and unfold this thing. So that tight, compact folding design, obviously everybody understands how important that is to pulling this down busy roads and things. And what I'm amazed at when I tell everyone so far this week about it, we actually make comparisons with this 100-foot 35-45 to a 76-foot transport dimension. So it's within a few inches of a 76-foot in width and about a foot in height, Scott. The maximum transport height is 19 feet 10 inches, and we felt for a big drill like this that that's acceptable. A lot of people have that 20-foot magic number for shop doors to store it in and over the winter.
Right.
Yeah.
So that fits in a cold storage shop over the winter to keep the weather off it.
And if you buy it in the QDA option, you can actually get that maximum height down to 19.5 inches. So not too bad. Yeah. And then if that's too big of a drill or too big of transport dimensions, and you can drop down to our 84-foot model. Now, if you compare that to previous models that they know from Bourgault, it's actually relatively the same dimensions as a 66-foot 33-35. So amazing our guys have been able to do that.
Yeah, that's a little bit of origami there, getting that
sure is. And yet when we go over the unfolding of it, we've kept it very, very simple.
It's very straightforward in how it comes out.
And when it's folded up, you can see it basically looks like a cube of steel sitting there.
Yeah, very much. You've got a lot of steel in a very compact space.
Yeah.